Dib the Awesome here to give you a review video on Wyrmald. Now, Wyrmald is available for testing. He's not officially released yet. He's available in 2 days, in 18 hours, so I think he comes out Saturday today. So, actually comes out in 3 days, so either Wednesday, yeah, it's probably Wednesday. Or no, I think today is kind of the 3rd day, so it would be Monday. Monday it'll come out, I think. Because it says it starts in 2 days and 18 hours. 18 hours is representation of today. So, that would mean 2 days later. No, it's Monday. Anywho, you didn't come here to hear a philosophical day of the event or, predictions. And it's not predictions, this when it comes out. But anywho, like an owl, this is a monster available for testing, and I think this monster is must-have. This is the upcoming Tolkien Quest monster. It's the same level of importance as, Dunra and Gorg. It's not that kind of series of monsters. And as far as I'm concerned, every time these monsters come out, they break the game. They really want to make people rage quit. This monster is really no exception. If anything, this is the breaking point. This is as dumb as you can get. If you get this at rank 4, you'll realize all the other matchups in the game are just stupidly easy. Gorg, easy. Dunra, easy. Clipium, easy. Every big boy or, major, character ever out. This is a huge problem for them. This is just a big old dumb-in-the-face problem. Why is that? It has several things. There's several reasons why this is good. One, it has a... Alright, let's put him in the battle here. Let's put him up in the battle. Let's start up the battle. It has a area skill. Okay, so yeah, as you know, that's the first thing up the bat. Area dodge. Amazing. It's a trait. It's not a buff. It's a trait. It's straight up with Oriely. Amazing. Amazing. This thing even destroys Oriely. Not only does it destroy Oriely, it destroys himself, dude. The only real counter right now is himself. That's psychologically insane, man. Like his best counter in terms of a light monster, like before we even straight up, his best light counter is himself. Like there's no other light monster can one-shot this thing as well as itself. And that's messed up. That in itself is a huge competitive advantage. If the enemy is not running this, you have a huge competitive advantage. It's just really strong. So the first skill, it actually started on the second one. So the first skill I want to show is this Righteous Evil skill. So it is a dark-based skill, which means it is effective against earth monsters. Earth monsters, as you guys know, tend to be a little bit over-the-top tanky. And, since it has a dark-based AoE, very effective. If you run, double damage or triple damage, maximum damage, it's disgusting. And, additionally, it applies Sunburn and Curse to that specific target. Now, in terms of the sense, dealing with Dunras, just run Dark Weakness, and then when this thing can go, you can use this AoE skill with really no problem. In fact, you'll do a lot of damage if you do take the time to set up Dark Weakness, which I recommend in terms of Dunra matchups. But even though this isn't actually a 40 as you guys can see here, it's a 40 damage skill. It's not like 45 or 50 like we're used to in terms of damage outputs. That's completely fine because you have to consider the fact you're taking 25% on turn 1. You do 25% to a person, once they get their turn, and it revs up over time. That's nasty. That's nice. That is really good. I don't remember. I think Sunburn was 15% or... yeah, either 15 or 10. It's one or the other. But this is really nice DOT damage. It's really nice. And you're already doing 40 damage. And given the rune setup, I do recommend either 2 damage or speed or full damage. Just even though the base damage is low, like the 40 damage, again 45 is more prefed. It doesn't matter because you're running, really high quality runes. It's going to do a lot of damage. Lots and lots of damage. As you can see, it doesn't do much to Dunra if you don't take the time to apply, Dark Weakness. Not a problem. Despicable Beings. Okay, this is the best boy skill. This is the skill you get a skill groups for. This is ultimate dedication. This skill, as far as I'm currently concerned, is one of the best skills in the entire game. this is a pretty much a revved up version of Oriely's skill, except it's 2 guaranteed effects, and both of them are pretty devastating. One of them is major damage reduction, which means you do half damage. It's not as good as total damage reduction, but you know, if you combine that with like something like Bell Breath, for example, it's pretty much total damage reduction. It's just amazing. It's nice. And it removes all positive effects before doing all the effects. Amazing, beautiful. Mwah. Good against those nasty evasion monsters. So he automatically pubs, stomps, you know, things like Gakora. What else is another AoE evasion monster? Skull-Darvera. I don't remember there being any other AoE evasion light monsters, but those are the things that come in mind. And just immediately, oh, Avira. I forgot the most important one. Sorry if I'm being relatively fast, because last time I actually did another video, like I did this video before, and it didn't actually go through. It got corrupted or crashed or whatever because I didn't have enough storage space. But I don't want that to happen this time. This is a really nice skill. God, I even lost my train of thought. But this skill is good. It blocks positive effects. It also prevents Mega Taunters from doing their thing. I will say this destroys even the recent Mega Taunt we get. I do believe he automatically wins the matchup. Like this monster hands down beats the latest quest monster, which is impressive. Like Mephisto, he beats Mephisto easy. But now this is the best. This is a really strong skill. I think this skill is amazing. I think a lot of people are overlooking it. Even though the damage is low, keep in mind again, you are building him, you know, damage, and especially if you build him full damage with, you know, running special weaknesses as well. If you run special weakener, like Samuel, for example, you will just, you know, easy. It doesn't matter that the base damage of this skill is even lower than, you know, Righteous Evil. If you build them, especially full damage, it doesn't matter. It matters none. But yeah, this is nice. With Oriely's AoE, like I said, this is an improved version of Oriely. The thing with Oriely's is he's not a damage dealer to begin with, and another, it's a random effect, so you might not even get anything that really bothers the enemy. It's just there for nice passive damage. This is coming from a damage dealer. So that's nice. So I think people are overlooking this skill. Big, huge competitive advantage. Really strong skill. Really nice, really good. Here, we'll fast forward. We don't need to watch this. Another thing that this man owns is a total damage reduction and skill mirror. So he also has another. This is actually a skill you get at level 100. So while you're waiting for Best Boy skill, this is your skill you run while you wait for that. This is 100%, you know, total damage reduction, and it applies skill mirror. The thing with this, while this is nice, you can, like, enemies can still remove skill mirror, unless they are on a single target skill that doesn't run that kind of thing. We do have monsters now that remove, you know, positive effects and then traits disable. So it's like single target skills that, you know, shoot out that positive effects. So like Gorg, for example, or Wasper. But this is the skill you run while you wait for the other one. This also doesn't do remove positive effects. So it is. I think this is a weaker skill. Again, I don't think it's as good. Even though it does total damage reduction, which is 100%, like the enemy doesn't do any damage to you, I still find the other one better. Even though this gives you skill mirror, I still find the other one better, because you gotta understand, removing positive effects in this game is too huge not to do. Like, it's too important. It's too must. It's too wanted. Like, it's too good to pass. You want to remove positive effects so the game doesn't last 300 years. And that's exactly what it does. This thing is also equipped. Oh, hey, look at that! It's like I'm like a fortune teller. I predicted this. Applies Dragon Hater, moderate special damage, removes positive effects, and gives 1 extra turn to itself. The skill is not only an extra turn damage skill, it applies the buff before doing the damage. So if you use this on a dragon monster, look at this. Oh, hey, pierced is a dragon. Oh, look at that, triple damage. Lots of damage. This thing isn't ruined, keep in mind. So if this was a ruined monster, this thing would be dead instantaneously. This thing kills monsters, again, including itself. It is a dragon monster itself. So it kind of wins mirror matchup. So that means like you kind of want to run him with speed maybe, just so you go over other Wyrmalds and just kind of knock out that right away. Like if none of the relics have been activated, especially if it has any life-sustaining relics, if you can get it set up where you just one-shot it, it's beneficial to you. It also holds another extra turn skill, which is evasion, and it gives an extra turn to itself. I'm kind of on and off about this, because if it's in a mirror matchup, it's kind of pointless. Like, this is good in the sense that it avoids anything that doesn't remove positive effects, but I feel like nowadays, everyone's running things that remove positive effects, like in terms of single target skills, except like War Masters that aren't like Thalassia. Like, Thalassia, as far as I'm concerned, was the only one that single target out positive effects. I think Shearzar probably has a single target skill too. That's might be rare because usually people run AoEs over it. Maybe people will run it more often when this thing comes out, but that's just the thing to begin with. But anything else in terms of War Masters, yeah, they don't run it, and it's a pretty good safe. I will say it's a safe skill if they can't actually react to it, so it's nice otherwise. But I actually think, like, in terms of how I play the game, I always run 2 AoEs and 2 single target skills. I might not even run this as one of the single target skills over another really strong skill. That's not an extra turn skill, mind you, but it does so much. It's so huge. So this is one of his other options. This also decreases the cooldown of his other AoEs. So pretty much if you ran both extra turn skills, you pretty much decrease one of the AoEs cooldowns to 0 if you started off the game with an AoE, which it could be really huge actually. So it just depends on how you play the game. I will say you need to run trait disable. I believe if you're running extra turn monsters or extra turn skills and you're not running trait disable, I don't think that's a good call. Unless you're running like Mega Taunt, not Mega Taunt, Mega Deny. Because you have to consider, like, giving enemies extra turns is a big deal. Like, if you're willingly giving people extra turns without, covering it, I will say that's kind of poor play, but it's whatever. He also has a resurrection skill. I don't remember if I think this was a ranked up skill, but this is an interesting skill. I will just say this rewards if the enemy's playing like non-remove positive effects. Again, remove positive effects is pretty huge in this game. If they're not playing with that, this is a huge comeback skill. So this gives a single dead ally 1% of their life. You revive someone, applies evasion to them, life regen, and positive effects protection. So this really punishes people that aren't really stacking remove positive effects. I will say that's like huge. If they're not running double remove positive effects monsters, that's huge. That's extremely huge because this guarantees their revival. I will say this is actually one of the stronger skills in the game, even though it doesn't look like it. Even though this doesn't look like a really good skill, it's like, oh well, Dave, you only get 1% of your life back. You're not considering the fact that the evasion and life regen is protected with positive effects protection, because what that does is, even though you get remove positive effects, unless it does it twice, which he himself actually has. He's the first monster in the game that has a double removal of effects. Positive effect protection pretty much nullifies it once, and it just removes the positive effect protection. And then you still keep the evasion and life regen. This is a strong revival, even though the base revival is really terrible. Like 1% isn't huge, but keep in mind you get 20% once it moves. So you're at 20%, and the monster itself could have built-in life regen or like healing skills. It's not a big deal. He also has a AoE. This is one of the skills that don't show up. He has a AoE 50% heal. Condition though is he stuns whoever he puts it, like whoever he has to click an ally. I don't know if it's like he can click himself. If he clicks himself, you can just use it on him. He won't suffer a stun. And because he himself is immune to celestial. I mean, like stun. I mean, he's got celestial, so stun doesn't bother him. But everyone gets healed by 50%. That's pretty big. I will say that's a huge recovery. That's not even his best, like, recovery, like, in terms of team support skill. That's not even his best one. His best skill is actually, in terms of team support, again, he's capable of support stuff. He's actually able to do remove all negative effects, life regen, and precision. Oh, I posted something. Yeah, he's able to do remove negative effects, regen, and precision. So you guarantee to land all your stuff, and you have life regen. And all before that, you remove all the bad things. So if you have like reverse healing or positive effects blocked or whatever, it removes that and then does the effects, which is huge. This is a really good skill. This is the skill I think you should run over the evasion skill. Is doing Dragoon removes positive effects from one enemy twice. I want to underline that, twice. So even if they have positive effects protection, unless it's like a trait, like Neobuki for example, you will remove that plus the other effects. So even if they had like evasion, it doesn't matter. You'll remove both. You remove everything that they have. This is also his best damaging skill. It's also on a 2-turn cooldown. Really nice. Really nice. If you run like 3 single target skills and an AoE, which might be really good actually in this current meta. If you do cover the traits, if you do disable traits and then do the extra turns, it is beneficial. This is a really strong skill. Don't look over this skill. It also applies sunburn too, keep that in mind. So not only are you doing 60 damage, you're also applying sunburn. So that's pretty big. I even missed the damage. I missed the that's the thing. Sometimes like when you do these skills, like the big multi-effect skills like that do remove positive effects or anything like that, even the damage has a chance to miss. So damage has a chance to miss, but everything else can land, which is weird, but that's just how it works. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Okay, so this actually surprised me a lot. Okay, so believe it or not, when people saw the kit, or looked over the monster when it got released, or like when the moveset got officially released, a lot of people thought it was underwhelming, which is nuts. Like that's crazy. I was like, everyone thinks this is garbage. Did anyone look at the light category? What light monster can really compete with this other than itself? Really? Like it's crazy. It's like everyone thinks this is not good. This is one of the better light monsters. This is probably the best light monster in the game right now, without a doubt. It just does so much. I think people are just looking at the base damage numbers. They're not really looking over everything that he's actually able to do. Like they're looking at the 40 damage for single target skills, 3-turn cooldowns. He doesn't really know, honestly. This man doesn't have a 1-turn cooldown or 0-turn cooldown damage skill. In terms of a mainstream build, you wouldn't really run any of them. I don't think any of them were good. At least there wasn't a spammable one that I realized. But you also got to understand he doesn't get hit by AoE skills. And you're probably running, teams would probably run taunt, like a taunt trait monster. And it won't really matter. Like you can't single target out Wyrmald at all. Like that's huge. That's really huge. So cooldowns activate doesn't even bother this man because for the most part most cooldown activation skills are always AoE. People always run AoEs, not usually single target cooldowns. Usually. But there are those rare occasions where people do, and that's a good competitive choice. So he's not bothered by cooldowns activate, and it's just a really strong monster. Like I don't know why people think this is terrible. He even has a 0 damage reduction, like total damage reduction. Like I don't understand why people thought like that. I hope the opinion does change. I really do, because I think a lot of people are overlooking everything that he does, like in terms of his effects. Again, I think this monster is must-have. Is there anything else I really want to talk about? No, not really. But do get this monster. This monster is good. For some reason, I'm not getting whenever I use the triple damage skill, I'm not seeing the buff. Maybe it's just for the damage. Maybe it's just for that skill. I don't really know. But as far as I'm concerned, every time I've used the triple damage hater, I don't usually see the buff. I haven't used it again. I do believe I have it up. Yep, see? Ah, see, I got that. It even said Dragon Hater. So maybe it's just when you use the skill. Maybe it's just not forever. I don't really understand. Maybe it's just bugged. But that at the moment, that's just how it is. That's it for this video. It's enough talking about Wyrmald. That's all I got in terms of wisdom. Real quick, his ultimate's pretty much a better version of his, his AoE. It removes all positive effects, light damage, so it's a element based, not like special based, so it's good against Remtar matchups. And it's life protection plus positive effect protection. So it protects your effects like your life regens, precision, whatever have you. And that's really it. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm the Awesome, and I'll hope to catch you guys later. Sorry if this video was delayed. I did post like a community post about how this thing crashed, and I was really sad, so I didn't work on it until today. And yeah, that's it. I'm the Awesome, and I'll catch you guys later.